Health Pioneers present 11 Best Sugar Substitutes plus Healthiest Natural Sweeteners. If you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more relevant health topics. It's estimated that the average American consumes 17 teaspoons of sugar every day and around 57 pounds of added sugar each year. Not only are many people eating and drinking way too much sugar, but the use of artificial sweeteners is on the rise too. Thankfully, there are sugar substitutes that can actually help cut back on sugar, so long as you choose the correct ones. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, ACE-K and saccharin have been debated for years in regard to the potentially damaging effects. While all of these sweeteners are technically safe and sugar-free, according to the Food and Drug Administration, they are coming under increased scrutiny. Side effects related to their consumption seem to range from headaches and poor digestion to cravings and even mood disorders. Refined sugars aren't healthy either. According to the Cleveland Clinic, table sugar is inflammatory, high in calories and offers no nutritional benefit. Side effects of consuming too much sugars include diabetes, tooth decay, obesity, heart disease, certain types of cancer and even poor cognitive functioning. So what is a good natural sweetener and the best alternative to sugar then? Fortunately, there are many sugar substitutes that are healthy and tasty alternatives to refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners. Natural sweeteners can actually provide nutrients and therefore boost health. For example, one study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association found that substituting healthy sweeteners including blackstrap molasses, maple syrup and honey, can increase your antioxidant intake and offer other benefits. Healthiest sugar substitutes. What is the healthiest sugar substitute to use? Some experts like fruit the best because there are no empty calories involved and the sugars are naturally occurring, but it really can be a matter of personal opinion and/or individual health needs. Are sugar substitutes bad for you? It depends a lot on the specific type. Benefits of sugar substitutes vary, but one thing they all have in common: they come from nature. Natural sweeteners, or non-nutritive sweeteners, are those that may contain calories, depending on the kind, and also usually supply some nutrients. Honey, maple syrup and molasses, for example, all contain beneficial components, such as enzymes, vitamins, minerals and carbohydrates, that the human body knows how to process. Certain natural sweeteners, like banana puree and date paste, provide health benefits, according to United States Department of Agriculture, such as encouraging healthy blood pressure and reducing cholesterol levels and heart disease risk, thanks to their fiber content. 1. Raw honey. Raw honey is a true superfood and one of the best natural sweeteners. It's packed with enzymes, antioxidants, iron, zinc, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, vitamin B6, riboflavin and niacin. Together, these essential nutrients help neutralize free radicals while promoting the growth of healthy bacteria in the digestive tract. 1 tablespoon of raw honey has less impact on glycemic load than a single banana. Once pasteurized, honey loses many of its benefits, so look for raw, ideally local, honey at farmers markets and directly from local beekeepers. The darker the honey, the richer the flavor and the greater the nutrition benefits. How to use raw honey. Don't cook or bake with raw honey. Drizzle it on breakfast cereals, over your sprouted grain toast, on yogurt and for salad dressings. Raw honey is also a great substitute for molasses in case you're not a fan or don't have it on hand. Many people only think of using honey in their tea, but honey is one of the best natural sweeteners for coffee too. One thing to note: if you enjoy honey in your tea or coffee, wait until the drink is just tepid enough to sip comfortably, and then add honey to taste. 2. Stevia. Stevia is native to South America and has been used for hundreds of years in that region to support healthy blood sugar levels and prompt weight loss. Stevioside is the element in the leaves that makes it more than 200 times as sweet as sugar. It's available in liquid drops, packets, dissolvable tablets and baking blends. It has 0 calories, 0 carbohydrates and none of the nasty side effects of artificial sweeteners. Stevia is related to the sunflower, and some people experience a slight metallic aftertaste. If that has been your experience with stevia in the past, try a brand that is higher in the steviosides. If you're looking for natural sweeteners for diabetics, the American Diabetes Association includes stevia on its list of recommended sugar substitutes. Stevia and erythritol are typically the top sugar substitute recommendations for people following a ketogenic diet. Read labels carefully to know what you're getting, since some stevia products contain stevia as well as erythritol, which may trigger indigestion in some people. How to use stevia. Unlike raw honey, stevia is heat stable, so feel free to use it in any way you desire. Remember, it's 200 times sweeter than sugar, so don't use it in the same ratio. To make up for the lost bulk when using stevia in baked goods, use 1/3 to 1/2 cup of one of the following bulking agents: fresh fruit puree, yogurt, roasted winter squash, 2 whipped egg whites, or 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. 3. Dates. Dates provide potassium, copper, iron, manganese, magnesium and vitamin B6. From the date palm tree, they are easily digested and help to metabolize proteins, fats and carbohydrates. Evidence shows that dates may help reduce LDL cholesterol in the blood and may reduce the risk of stroke. How to use dates. The first step is to make a paste. Date paste can be used 1-to-1 in most recipes, unlike stevia, and it does add bulk for baking. Soak medjool dates in hot water until soft. If the water reaches room temperature and the dates aren't soft enough, soak in hot water again. Reserve the soaking liquid, as it's integral to making a good paste. Add the soaked dates to your food processor, along with 1 tablespoon of the soaking liquid. Blend until smooth. Add more water as needed to create a thick, rich paste. You are looking for the consistency of peanut butter. Use in your favorite cookie or cake recipe to cut out refined sugar and boost the nutrients. You can also use date paste to sweeten your favorite muffins and pies. For fruit pies, mix 1-to-1 1/2 cups of puree with 4 cups of fruit, and bake as normal. Depending on the water content of the fruit, you may need to add a thickener, like tapioca. 4. Coconut sugar. Most people have heard about the benefits of coconut water, coconut milk, coconut flour and, of course, fresh coconut. Now, more and more people are using coconut sugar as their natural sweetener of choice because of its low glycemic load and rich mineral content. Packed with polyphenols, iron, zinc, calcium, potassium, antioxidants, phosphorus and other phytonutrients, coconut sugar is versatile and now readily available. Coconut sugar is extracted sap from the blooms of the coconut and then heated. Next, through evaporation, we get coconut sugar. Date sugar, made from dried dates, and coconut sugar are often used interchangeably in recipes because they provide similar flavor. Both are great sugar substitutes for baking. How to use coconut sugar. Use coconut sugar in your favorite recipes, for it measures just like traditional sugar. It's a bit more coarse than refined sugar, but that's okay. Add the amount of sugar called for in a recipe to your food processor, and give it a whirl until you get the desired texture. You can even make a confectioner's sugar substitute with coconut sugar quite quickly. For every cup of coconut sugar, add 1 tablespoon of arrowroot powder and blend until smooth in a clean coffee grinder or high-powered food processor. 5. Maple syrup. Native to North America, maple syrup comes in both grades A and B. While time-consuming, maple syrup processing requires only 4 steps: drilling the hole in the tree, hanging a bucket to catch the sap, boiling to evaporate out the water and then filtering of any sediment. Maple syrup is one of the best natural sugar substitutes because it's an outstanding source of manganese and contains calcium, potassium and zinc. Rich with antioxidants, this all-natural sweetener helps neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative damage. Select darker, grade B maple syrups, as they contain more beneficial antioxidants than the lighter syrups. How to use maple syrup. Maple syrup is heat stable, so you can use it in virtually any application. Add it to marinades, glazes or sauces, and use for baking. Use it to sweeten homemade granola and your morning coffee or tea. For a glaze for cookies or cakes, heat until just barely simmering and add the coconut powdered sugar from above. Stir until smooth, allow to cool to room temperature and then drizzle away. 6. Blackstrap molasses. Organic blackstrap molasses is highly nutritious, rich in copper, calcium, iron, potassium, manganese, selenium and vitamin B6. Sugarcane and beet molasses have been shown to have the highest phenolic content and antioxidant activity when compared with refined sugar, beet sugar, rape honey, corn syrup and dates. There are several types of molasses, depending on which level of processing it has gone through. All molasses is obtained from raw cane sugar, made by boiling it until it's a rich, sweet syrup. Blackstrap molasses comes from the 3rd boiling, concentrating its nutrients and providing for its deep, rich flavor. How to use blackstrap molasses. Molasses has a unique, rich flavor. It may not be appealing for some to use for topping toast, porridges or other concentrated applications. However, it's a perfect sweetener for marinades and to use in baking. You can even make a brown sugar alternative by adding 2 tablespoons of molasses for each 1/2 cup coconut sugar a recipe calls for. Put the coconut sugar and the molasses in a food processor and pulse until the consistency of commercial brown sugar is reached. 7. Balsamic glaze. Balsamic vinegar is rich in antioxidants that destroy free radicals and the enzyme pepsin that helps promote healthy digestion and tastes great. How to use balsamic glaze. Balsamic glazes are available in natural health food and gourmet stores, but you can also quickly make your own glaze at home. Simply simmer 2 cups of balsamic vinegar over medium-low heat, stirring frequently, until it's reduced to 1/2 cup. This process can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. It will thicken further upon cooling. Drizzle the glaze over grilled wild-caught salmon, raw cheese or even fresh berries to bring a natural sweetness and a bit of a tang. 8. Banana puree. Bananas are rich in fiber and potassium and a good source of vitamins B6 and C. They are also naturally sweet with a subtle flavor, making them a perfect natural sweetener. How to use banana puree. First, overripe bananas are the best to use when replacing refined sugar in recipes. They are sweeter and puree well. For every cup of sugar called for in a recipe, use 1 cup of banana puree. To make the puree, add bananas to a food processor with a tablespoon of water and blend. Add more water if necessary to reach the consistency of thick apple sauce. As bananas brown when exposed to air, use as quickly as possible in recipes. If you are using banana puree in raw preparations, add 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice to the food processor to help retard the oxidation process. 9. Brown rice syrup. Brown rice syrup starts with brown rice that is fermented with enzymes to break down the starch. The liquid is then heated until the syrup consistency is achieved. The result? A thick, amber-colored, sweet syrup perfect for recipes calling for corn syrup and other unhealthy sweeteners. The fermented process helps break down the sugars into ones that are easily digestible. The fermenting process is key. Some brown rice syrups are fermented with barley enzymes, meaning it contains gluten. Purchase brown rice syrups that are labeled gluten-free. How to use brown rice syrup. As mentioned above, brown rice syrup is the perfect replacement in recipes that call for corn syrup. Use a 1:1 ratio. To replace regularly processed white sugar, use 1 cup for each cup of sugar called for and decrease liquid in the recipe by 1/4 cup. Use brown rice syrup to make healthy granola bars and granola nut clusters, and to sweeten nut and fruit pies. 10. Real fruit jam. The key here is real fruit jam. Berries, stone fruit, apples, pears and grapes are great replacements for sugar in recipes. You can use commercially available fruit jam, just be sure there is no added sugar or pectin. It's better to make your own sugar-free jam with organic fresh or frozen fruit. It's easy and economical. How to use real fruit jam. Replace sugar in recipes at a 1:1 ratio, decreasing the liquid in the recipe by 1/4 cup. Or, for recipes that don't have added liquids, you can add a tablespoon of coconut flour to thicken the recipe as desired. To make your own fresh jam, combine 4 cups of your favorite fruit or berry in a saucepan with 1/2 cup water. Bring to a simmer, stirring frequently. Simmer until fruit has broken down and has started to thicken. Puree in a food processor and use immediately. For a tasty apple pie, simmer 1/2 cup of peeled diced apples with 1 cup of green grapes until soft. Puree in the food processor until smooth. Toss with sliced apples and a touch of cinnamon and bake as directed. The grapes add a subtle sweetness while the natural pectin in the apples helps thicken the pie. 11. Monk fruit. One of the most popular sugar substitutes for low-carb dieters is monk fruit. Monk fruit contains compounds that, when extracted, provide 300 to 400 times the sweetness of cane sugar, but monk fruit sugar contains no calories and has no effect on blood sugar. How to use monk fruit. Monk fruit can be used in all kinds of recipes from cheesecakes and cookies to smoothies and healthy mocktails. How to get more in diet. Getting more natural sweeteners in your daily diet isn't hard if you completely stop using refined table sugar and use healthier sugar substitutes instead. Plus, you also can look for food products that are sweet thanks to ingredients like stevia rather than refined sugar. To find your best sugar substitutes, you'll likely have to test out a few. You might end up liking one for your morning coffee but a different one for your baking needs. Even when using natural sweeteners, like raw honey, you still want to be mindful of your overall sugar consumption. How much natural sugar should you have a day? According to the American Heart Association, you should limit the amount of added sugars you consume to no more than half of your daily discretionary calorie allowance. For most American women, this is no more than 100 calories per day and no more than 150 calories per day for men, or about 6 teaspoons per day for women and 9 teaspoons per day for men. The AHA defines added sugars as any sugars or caloric sweeteners added to foods or beverages during processing or preparation. So added sugars include refined sugar as well as natural sweeteners like honey. If you are being treated for any ongoing health concern, especially diabetes, check with your doctor before incorporating any new sweeteners and sugar substitutes into your diet. Recipe swaps. Ready for some awesome recipes that swap out refined sugar for some healthier sweetness? Try these gluten-free gingerbread cookies that are naturally sweetened with dates and blackstrap molasses, or these maple-glazed rosemary carrots, which make a delicious side dish. More tasty recipes that use natural sweeteners instead of refined sugar or artificial sweeteners include key lime pie recipe, coconut milk coffee creamer recipe, roasted beets recipe with balsamic rosemary glaze. Please like and share this video.